folks. Welcome to another week. This is So Bad It's Good. This is our pop culture roundup. As always, we have the host of the hit podcast Snarkbait, Miss Sophie Ross Brooks. Sophie, what the hell is going on over there?
Nothing much, just surviving.
Barely, right? Just barely.
Barely. Like, I'm so fucking ready for January and February, like the worst months to be over.
Oh my God, you just scared me when you said January. I was like, we're still in January?
You could tell me that we were, and I'd believe you.
I feel like that's going to be the next year. It's just a series of Januaries over and over and over again. So,
also, YouTube audience, this is Baxter in the background.
Woo!
Look at
Baxter.
him.
What a handsome fella. My goodness.
He's so cute.
What a fun him. You just want to squeeze him.
Good job with the Yiddish.
Yeah, thank you. This is it's a mitzvah what we're doing here today.
It really is.
Who's on the snark seat this week on Snarkbait, Sophie?
Ooh, you guys are going to have to find out. I don't want to give it away. But tomorrow is Tuesday, which means it's Dark Energy Tuesday, and we talk a lot about Amanda Batula's new swim line, which has been kind of disappointing.
Whoa. Okay, we're jumping into the deep water already. I wanted to talk about this because on Summer House this week, I was so proud of her having that talking head moment where she was talking about finding the right SSRIs.
Yes.
I will say I have noticed a difference in Amanda on the show. She's smiling more and on social media. And listen, I wear a burqa when I go to the beach. I thought that the bathing suits looked really pretty in the photos. Are they not? I want to support Amanda.
First of all, yes, regarding the SSRI conversation, which also I just started Zoloft. Like, I was on something else called Effexor or venlafaxine for several years, but the withdrawal syndromes were really, really, really bad. So anyway, switched to Zoloft. Life is worth living. I'm like obsessed with Zoloft, you guys. Like, seriously.
I don't think I've ever done Zoloft. I will say though.
You've never done Zoloft. You're acting like it's like a party drug.
By the way, who knows? It's January,
you
man.
You want to go rail some Zoloft in the bathroom?
Yes. Hey, I'm in Summer House. Do you want to go rail Zoloft? I will say it would be great to see you in a Zoloft commercial where it was like, life is worth living, and it's just you podcasting. And that's all it allows you to do.
Look at my like chords. I'm just like dancing in slow motion. I'm just like...
Wait, what's wrong with Amanda's swimsuit, though?
Okay, so my issue with the swimsuit line is that it was kind of touted as size inclusive. It's supposed to be size inclusive and for girls with big busts, and that was kind of like the whole shtick. It only goes up to an XL. It doesn't have bra sizing, so 32D. So it has the band and the cup sizing, because that is what I wouldn't know, because I'm not one of those women with bigger busts, but that is what usually women with bigger busts want. So there's been some feedback that it's not as size inclusive as I think that she was originally touting it as, or that was the original ideation of it. And also the pricing, it's like $170 for one bikini that looks like it's from Amazon,
Well, how much are bathing suits usually?
I mean, like, it depends on the brand. I personally am not willing to spend more than $100 usually on a bikini, because they're tiny pieces of fabric. So it's like it's extremely expensive to begin with. And then also it looks like it's from Amazon. Like, it's just like, just unoriginal, cheap looking designs, and it's not even size inclusive.
This is the difference. I'm sitting here going, I'm proud of Amanda. Look, in fact, I said on the recap on Friday, go buy her swimsuits, because I'm so happy that she seems happy.
I will say that she did respond to a negative TikTok in a nice way. She was like, thank you for the feedback. I'm sorry. Like, I'm definitely going to like take this back to the team. Like, she seems receptive to feedback about it. So that's good. But yeah, I thought it was pretty disappointed. I'm like, and also like the girls with big boobs are like, why are you, it's a halter, like triangle bikini. Like, that's not what girls with big boobs want. So it just,
what do girls with big boobs want?
You need support. You need like because if you have a halter top or whatever, it's going to put pressure on your neck. It doesn't give support. It doesn't have like underwiring. It's like the things that girls with big boobs want. So that was kind of like her whole thing, was that I'm going to make bikinis for girls with big boobs like me. And she didn't. So,
well, what if each bra comes with a Kyle Cook? Because Kyle is supporting right now. He's trying to be a supportive husband, which, by the way, did you see? So this is
send it
blown
back
up.
in the mail.
This is blown up online. This is you got to love people how intense they get, myself included.
The text from Kyle.
I'm sure you, but this is what this is from Bravo and Cocktails, and I think Face Reality 16 found it first. This is the text that Paige receives from Kyle. And it goes, honestly, beyond discouraged with Craig, too. This wouldn't be a topic today if it wasn't for him and about a dozen lies. I can't believe this is where Hannah is at 3 years later. I'm fucking apeshit. First, her telling Alex Cooper I cheated on Amanda right up until our wedding and all the pain we fucking suffered because of that podcast when it was at its peak, which I never fucking confronted you or her about. Now this, you've been with her this entire time, and we are now out there saying you wish you stood up for her season 5. Now this, is that what you think as well? Hannah had the lowest Q rating entire network, aka likability. Just ask Dave Kaplan drunk and he'll tell you. Sorry to barrage you, I was just heated in the moment. Can't vent to Amanda because she basically divorced me for potentially hurting your guys' friendship with the spritzer stuff. And I didn't understand how lies keep getting, and that's where it gets cut off.
I will say the Q rating thing, like, first of all, he's going on like a drunken rant. But the Q rating thing, I think, is relevant because the context that's missing here is the fact that Hannah went on whatever podcast he was calling her daddy and said that she was fired from Summer House because she promoted Truly.
Yeah.
And so that's leaving out the context that like everyone fucking hated her that season.
Well, and just to explain to people what a Q rating is, it's something used in like TV to like audiences gauge who's their favorite. And it's called having like a high Q rating or like the favorability. So say like last season, Carl might not have gotten a really high Q rating if people were really in support of Lindsay, but they're saying Hannah had the lowest Q rating. But I just love a drunken text message bringing up business things like Q rating. And Dave Kaplan, I went and looked him up. He is the head guy over at Bravo that does audience marketing and things like that. So I was like, this, and I love that Kyle was like, ask this guy drunk and he'll tell you. So it means like Kyle's out there getting this dude drunk on Loverboy. But it seemed, and this is obviously all over the spritzer wars between Craig and Kyle, which we'll see in next week's episode. Because Craig did the Spritz Society, which is like the Toast, those girls?
Yeah, Ben Soffer or whatever, boy with no job. So obviously like a Loverboy competitor.
I love that we, as grown men in our 40s, we're fighting over spritzer. Isn't that amazing?
It's so silly. It's so silly.
Boys in their spritzers. Boys in their spritzers.
Amanda was on this podcast called Conversations with Cam, I think, with someone called the Freckled Foodie. I don't know. She's annoying. But I read, maybe it was Vanderpod Recaps, friend of the pod.
Love Vanderpod Recaps.
I read the recap and I don't know. I don't know. I root for Kyle and Amanda. Obviously, like I root for them to be happy, but I don't get the impression that they're, loving life together even like all these years later. I really think there's still like that sunk cost fallacy where it's like, oh, but we've been together for so long and our lives are so intertwined and,
Well, Kyle's a we've seen very passionate person, but you don't want to go up against Paige. Like, that's where you're like, you can go, like, but I will say, like, to the Hannah of it all, I get what he's saying. Like, I think you understand what he's saying, but at this time, now we're going to drag Hannah into this fight on Summer House. And Hannah and Paige, like, Giggly Squad is like dominating right now. In fact, they just got announced as the host of the Vanity Fair's after Oscars Hollywood red carpet party.
Hannah's doing great off of reality TV, and maybe that's why it pisses Kyle off.
Yeah, away from reality, she's doing great.
Reality TV clearly like wasn't for her, and that's fine. But like she's doing great, and that probably pisses off Kyle.
It's really interesting. What did you think of the Carl and Lindsay interaction? Because I just love that Carl was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell Lindsay I'm happy for the baby. Hey, Lindsay, congratulations for the baby. You do, Lindsay."
Hey, Lindsay. Oh, sorry.
No,
Carl. I was
doing Lindsay.
Okay.
Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay. I saw your Instagram post about the baby. I just wanted to say congratulations. I'm happy for you.
Hi, Carl. Thank you.
I love it. It was like a cashier at a Trader Joe's you're interacting with.
And she goes, I mean, even on the basketball courts last year, I said, You never know where I'll be next summer.
Dude, I said, Lindsay, went back and rewatched every minute of that last season and took notes. And she was like, I'm going to hit him with that flashback from last season.
Right.
And he was all like just sweating profusely. And by the way, Carl now has just turned into a chef for the summer house. Like, he's like, listen, I'm not going to party as hard as you guys, but I will bring tomahawk steaks. I'll go get bagels in the morning. I'll fill up your cars with gas, whatever is needed. And that's usefulness to some degree. But also Lindsay saying like, everybody thank Carl for the amazing steaks.
Thank you, Carl. I'm so interested because I feel like it's only a matter of time before we find out. They usually do it in like May, I feel like sign, the contracts for Summer House, like
it's after the reunion. After the reunion.
Yeah, like I'm so interested what's gonna happen because it's like Lindsay's gonna have a baby. Carl's sober, like he's already so fucking boring. I'm optimistic, like I said, like I'm so for like new people like Lexi. Like I know that she's getting a lot of hate, but like I'm down to see like what her deal is.
Dude, I'm down to clown with Lexi. She gave us 2 moments, one about her best friend passing away, that her family, her mom and dad have been married 37 years. They're giving us moments to like bring her into her story. And as Jesse says, she's got a juicy booty. What is up with this Jesse Sullivan? And how dare you, Sophie? This is where I feel like women get it wrong. The fact that you thirsted over this man multiple times.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Multiple times.
I cannot apologize enough. I seriously, like, I have the deepest
How
regret.
are you a trusted voice for women if you literally are going for Jesse?
I know. I'm really sorry, guys, that I ended up putting us in this position where, like, I was defending Jesse Solomon last season. Like, I
know how many girls fell in love with Jesse because of you?
I am so sorry, you guys. We actually talk about him on Dark Energy Tuesday tomorrow on Stark Bait too.
I think Jesse is more dangerous than Wes.
We have kind of come to that conclusion too. I think that something deeply nefarious about him is that I think is using Lexi for the showmans of it all.
Wait, for real? Because I kind of like he's love bombing her, but I believe he's love bombing because he truly is like va 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 boom.
I mean, probably she's like a model, like she's gorgeous, but I also think that he wants the showmans. I think that he saw what Wes showmans did for him last season. I mean, at least at first before the reunion, and he wants that. Like,
it looks like she kind of gives him the cold shoulder in next week's episode and saying, "Hey, I just want to make it known that we're just getting to know each other," or at least that's a little clip.
I'm also interested in seeing like there's maybe a love triangle with Sierra too, which like I find hard to believe because I feel like Sierra's like done with the reality TV guys.
Girl, run. You are in danger, girl. So we have the Jesse thing popping off, which is really interesting. The Carl Lindsay thing was a big nothing burger. I'm like, they're actually able to live peacefully. But then
it's funny because it's like you would think that Sierra and West were the ones that were engaged and broke off the wedding.
I mean, Sierra cares so deeply, and I love that she is just, I love the potty mouth Sierra. I love the fresh off of Trader Sierra. But that dinner, okay, now this is, you do Sierra, and I'm going to do Wes eating my tomahawk steak. And Kyle just said, hey, how do you like Wes's hair?
Fucking stupid.
And then now say like tear into me a little bit about like the New York Times.
I just think it's fucking interesting that you went to the New York fucking Times to talk about how you don't fucking like me instead of coming to me. And you went to the New York fucking Times and you have so much to say and now you have nothing to say. And he just stares at her with like his stupid pink face.
Yeah, here goes. We can have a conversation if you like. We could. Do you want to talk? I mean, I'm happy to have a talk away from people.
We can talk right here. He went to the New York Times.
Perfect. For Sophie, he presented it as somebody wanted to like say like, hey, do you want to like tell your side of the story? And I said, yeah, it's the New York fucking Times. It's not your friend down the street.
He went to the New York fucking Times. And then wants to have a private conversation with Sierra. Like, please. I can't with him.
And Rebecca pointed this out, which I'm a little worried for Rebecca, but she said, have you checked out this guy's meaty nips? He's
Oh,
always
it's
with his shirts off.
disgusting.
He has
You
very meaty
wait,
nips,
do you
Rebecca
follow?
keeps saying.
I feel like
Drunk,
so many
drunk,
people.
drunk,
Drunk drawn. Oh
I
my
do, dude.
gosh.
Okay, so Rebecca said this, and then I saw that the next day, and I go, "Oh my god, look at this!"
You guys go follow Drunk Drawn right now. You will throw up when you see
It
the
was.
illustration of West's nipples, but like it's worth it.
I feel like we're going to tease him so much about his nipples that he's going to get. I don't know if nipple surgeries are a thing, but I feel like we're going to get
Nipple
like a
reduction surgery.
or like a nipple with a six pack. Like he's going to do something to these nips. But it
Also,
is so
him
fascinating.
walking into that conversation, not only shirtless, but going, so are we just going to have like a shitty ass fucking summer?
Oh, because it seems like downstairs you're like not moving on. I mean, here, Sierra nails it. And the fact that she won't trust her gut of like, this dude does not care about you in that way.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart when they left that scene in with Paige, which was very honest of like, of course, like I would just want to like make out with them and make him feel better because that's like,
oh God.
But isn't that such
Stand
a
up.
real thing that we all
Stand
do?
up, Sierra. Yeah, but like, I don't know. And I get that like this was also very recently after the reunion. And it also seems like they hooked up after the reunion. It's kind of alluded to that they
Well,
went
that's
out
when
after
we win drinks. We got drinks,
we
which
got
you know what that means.
drinks. Exactly.
Butt
like
stuff.
butt stuff. Banal beads. It does.
Oh.
It does definitely seem like they hooked up. So I can see that the feelings are like still fresh for her, obviously, but he does not give a fuck about you. And it's like the same thing with Austin, where she just gets way too emotionally. And I don't blame her because they're very love bomby guys.
Yeah, well, and that's what we see with Jesse with Lexi right now. And this fucking Jesse comes down and goes, corn o'clock. That's the level of humor we're dealing with. He made like 30 corn jokes. Corn o'clock. He is all teeth. I don't know. Listen, my buddy Joey Zauzig is on a brand trip with Wes and Jesse right now for Sonos in Italy. And my buddy Joey, I met him through Jeff Lewis. He's on the show, and he's like, Joey's an extremely gay dude. He's out. So I cannot wait to get stories from Joey about Wes and Jesse because it's like a bunch of dudes on this trip.
I hate how these losers are getting sent to Italy.
Well, like, Joey's not a loser. I mean, Joey's a good guy.
What? No, not Joey. I was talking about Wes and Jesse. I was talking about Wes and Jesse. Like, it pisses me off. Like,
yeah, it's wild, isn't it? And so they're on the Alps. Like you see all these like this beautiful scenery, and I just imagine all of the bad songs being written, like Jesse Solomon and all of that. Anyways,
oh my God, I just like I can't, and I understand also that like they may or may not be the future of Summer House, which.
But wait, Sophie, all of this conversation, I'm still saying I'm loving watching it because I love having these types of conversations. I love making fun of nipples. I love making fun of somebody saying
I know.
o'clock.
I think it's just
so I dig it.
Don't. And I think it's okay to like hate watch people. Obviously, we do that a lot on Bravo, but I'm kind of just like, I don't know, Wes and Jesse are just like, they just skeeve me out so far.
Well,
like,
one of them's going to make a really bad move that's not going to even be. It won't even be considered humorous. That's what I'm scared about. They're going to do something that is so repugnant.
How do you know?
I don't know. This is prediction.
I thought you were talking about your screeners.
No. God, yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, Jesse kills a man next week. It's crazy, you guys. And then he tries to blame Kyle on it. It's wild.
And like the hidden camera that's like above the foyer, like the entranceway, he's like dragging a body.
And you just hear thumps in the summer house, and then they're like, footage not found, but you're just hearing thumps, and you hear Jesse's like, they can't hear you scream down here.
He like throws the thing over the room camera like they do before they have sex, but he's like dismembering someone.
Yeah. But he's still making the sex sound, so he tries to confuse the summer house people. It's like, no, dude, you heard me fully having 69 in there. That was definitely not murder. I was having sexual relations. We all know it. I don't know what happened. That's a really dark joke, you guys. I realize that. Anyways, summer house firing on all cylinders. We'll see what happens. But it is just such a weird thing. And obviously, the Paige and Craig thing has kind of dissipated. Am I correct? Like, it feels like it's lost steam.
I think they both realize that the more they go back and forth, like the more embarrassing it is for both of them. And so they both decided to just stop. And I'm very happy about that. Like, as much as I love the drama and the mess, like, like I said, the person who wins the breakup is the person who just like stops.
That's up.
Yeah.
I was scared like Paige the Thorbo was gonna be on like Meet the Press today. Like it'd be like government issues, and then Paige the Thorbo here to talk about her breakup with Craig Conover. So I'm glad that's kind of dissipated. But then over on Southern Charm, man, Southern Charm, if you've not been watching it, it's hit or miss. But this weekend it hit.
It was good.
So good. Obviously, I'm sure you have talked about this many times.
I'm sorry, you guys.
If you say you're Team Shep, I'm gonna fucking
no.
Okay.
No. How dare you?
Well, yeah, I don't know where.
I am actually really liking Austin this season.
Austin is, well, by default, Austin is coming off as the most level-headed person, but it is interesting just in terms of male friendships. We see that Craig has this conversation with Madison at the end of like, he hates me, man. I see the way he looks at me. And it's such an interesting conversation.
Craig, Craig, you tried to buy him out of your business that you have together with a low ball
for pillows and beer.
A low ball offer of $30,000. Like, you're an asshole to him. Of course he doesn't like you right now. Like, you're a fucking asshole.
Here is the text, though, that Shep sent to Scheana, his Bahamian love. And, Sophie, you've read of this many times already, but I'll just do it once more for the audience.
Oh, God.
Good morning, Scheana. Listen, I love seeing you and no one else. No one. But I'm not going to try to convince someone they love me for 3 days, especially when I know deep down they do. Here's hoping you understand my feelings and exalt them. I just don't feel this way ever. I know that you agree and feel a lot of what I do because I've heard it from your perfect little freckled lips. And those around us can say and think what they will. But we will have the last laugh, and we'll have love, laughter, and everything that matters. Okay, my TED Talk is over. The comedy when Austin heard this and when even Craig heard this was amazing because Shep thought he did a banger there.
He thought he ate. He thought he ate.
Well, no, okay, so this is what the argument is, though. So say Henry sends you that text, your husband.
Oh my God, divorce.
Okay, but see, I was wondering, is it just like, if you were truly in love with Henry, would you have taken that as like, oh my God, this warms my heart?
That's so ick-inducing. It's not only ick-inducing, but it's also like, the way that Shep is acting like he can just force someone to be with him. Like, she has her own free will. She clearly does not, like, it's very obvious that she's not that into him. Like, it's obvious to everyone else. But the way that he, like, will not accept that. Like, that's just, like, it's so, like, entitled, like, it's just very Shep,
I just like that Austin also points out that Shep does not read signals, which is so interesting because he's probably gotten everything that he's wanted, so he has no use in reading signals, and it's probably worked out great for him. But it is interesting, the conversation where you see the majority of the people are like, ick. And then there's a contingent where it's like, I love this guy. What a good guy, man. What a good guy, like letting his heart out. And then on the after show,
I've seen that.
I've seen it, but on the after show, Molly, the new cast member, and what's the other new cast member's name? The other girl, Sally, they were there saying, oh my God, that is so beautiful. Like that would totally win me over. Isn't that wild?
From your perfect little freckled lips to God ears.
I mean, isn't that crazy? But I kind of love, it's like the old man in the sea, just Shep looking out at the ocean, feeling lost and feeling like he was having these fantasies about this girl. We've all been there, but she's like a 25. She doesn't even know what a fucking TED Talk is, Shep.
You guys, he's literally turned into Thomas Ravenel before our eyes. It's kind of like a modern day tragedy, almost.
Well, that's why it's good television. I mean, because there is real things here. So Southern Charm firing on all cylinders. Now, a real quick hit, I wanted to say Vanity Fair hooked Lady Gaga up to a lie detector test. And one of the things she said was talking about her love of Vanderpump Rules and that her favorite character that she's going to miss since they are rebooting Vanderpump Rules is Scheana Shay. It isn't that... I mean, Scheana needed this, man. Scheana needed this.
Scheana has taken a lot of L's.
Oh my God.
Not only recently, but just like forever since we've been watching her. Yeah, she needed this. I'm happy for her. I'm very happy for her. Did you also see the one where she was like, where the question was, do you think Lauren should have gone to Paris? And Lady Gaga goes, I don't know what that means.
But I mean, it is wild when like a big star like that watches the same shit we do, which is always, it's never going to not excite me. So that was a cool moment. And I really was happy for Scheana. But like in terms of that hatred, like I was there on that Shenanigans podcast about a month or so ago when she announced her book. And I'm still tagged in that post when she announced it. And so I guess like the comments will pop up on my Instagram. And this is what bums me out. Like you can not like Scheana or whatever. And I know we all hate everything, but like, people are still on that post going, how many times are you going to say me? How many times are you going to say me in this book? Oh, I didn't even know you could write. Like, my God, this is like a month later. People are still writing negative comments.
So unoriginal.
But I also like, what is, I don't know, like where, I don't know. Like, I choose to start a podcast to talk about my hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've done the same. That's what don't do it on Instagram. Just start a podcast, you guys.
I know people are so scary and weird.
Yeah, they truly are. Talking about scary and weird. Now, I know you're not watching this, and I wasn't going to watch it, but I saw a clip from an episode of theirs this week. So I dove in, and now I'm caught up with the Kardashians. Now, the reason that got me back in was because they were had a storyline of Northwest performing in The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl. And I was like, I remember that from Instagram. I saw a lot of videos of that. I would like to see what this is about. And Kim Kardashian says, listen, I'm trying to find the quote here. She's talking about nepotism. Like, she's like, of course my daughter got this because of who I am. Of course. She says she talks it over with her husband, or no, I mean, with her ex. And she says, I already know what's coming, you know? She's not Whitney Houston, duh. She got the job because of her parents. North is the moment. They want to see Northwest on TikTok, on anything, because she's a personality, a performer. And if anyone wants to hate on a child that is having the time of their lives, fuck you, Kim says. Sophie, thoughts?
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm obsessed with the fact that this is like the one storyline that you cared about.
Well, it was either that or the
Nazi
shit. It was either that or the Nazi stuff. That's why I went with that. Yeah.
Very normal, Ryan. Very normal.
No, wait. No, this is, to me, this is everything about pop culture that it's an interesting conversation that the Kardashians and people like that are going to get themselves into, because nepotism, obviously, that's a huge conversation now for the last decade. But what kills me about that moment is that I get it, but put your fucking, if your daughter wants to perform, put her in classes. Get her the best fucking vocal instructor that money can buy. Make her work for it. Like, I know I sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but my God, like, listen, she did look like she was having a good time. I've talked to people that were there that night. Really a difference in performance level than that person on stage. That's not North's fault. She seems like a very bright, bubbly person. The onus and the shit should be on Kim and fucking Kanye, because like, I know how hard Kim has worked just to even get here, whatever it is we're saying that she's doing, but she worked hard. You've got to, if you're going to set your daughter up for that opportunity, you got to make sure she understands that this comes with 8 hours a day of rehearsal, of really, and not just going out there like you're at, fucking middle school performance of Grease. I mean, that's what pissed me off. And then Kim has this new indignant personality of like, fuck you if you don't like it. Oh, okay, Kim. Fuck us. I get it. Thumbs up. Sorry, I'm angry about this.
Oh my God. I mean, first of all, they're obviously like trying to prime the new generation, and they have been for some time, because interest has waned when it comes to, Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, Kylie, and Kendall. I'm sorry, it has. So
talking about this now is one of the only times that they've been talked about in terms of like an actual pop culture show. Nobody's covering them right now.
They haven't had like a significant like pop culture moment. I guess Kylie and Timothy, obviously, but like other than that, like interest has really waned. And it's been kind of going down, I think, since 2020, maybe even before that. So they're trying to prime the new generation, obviously, but also like with the Nepo baby conversation, I feel like there is like, I don't know. I can't remember who it was. It was like some Nepo baby that was like, would you say if my dad was a doctor and I became a doctor that I didn't deserve to be a doctor? And it's like, well, no, obviously, because you have to put in a lot of work to become a doctor, and you should be doing the same thing for, the arts, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's really, and then in the episode, Kanye's in this episode, you guys, for a little bit. And Kim was like, yeah, Kanye said yes, but he asked if he could change the graphics for The Lion King. And I was just like, I told them, I was like, it will be better. And I'm like, oh, you're going to put a fucking swastika up there, Kanye? Is that what you want to do with The Lion King? Like, fuck you. It is such a bizarre show, folks. And I don't know if that celebration of wealth is going to really sit well in this next 8 years.
In this
like,
economy,
I don't know.
guys, we can't even like get eggs. Like,
wait,
eggs are unavailable.
We wanted the eggs. No, it's just weird, that celebration. It's like the billionaires, like Elon's off doing his Elon thing, and Bezos is, but they don't have I mean, I guess Elon does kind of have a TV show now all the time on X, but you don't want that hour-long thing where it's a wish fulfillment that we're watching you go through, and it's such at an extreme where it is so out of touch. And if we keep, if you guys are out there living the best life ever, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But a lot of people aren't. I don't know if that's going to work on reality television. It's much easier to watch, like,
totally.
I mean, mid-level rich people like the Southern Charm people. It's hard when you're just watching somebody flaunt a new car where
it's like
so great in the early on.
I feel like there's a difference between watching like the Real Housewives, like you're watching like a rich housewife in her mansion, versus the exorbitant level of overconsumption and wealth that the Kardashians display on their show, which is like their MO. That's like kind of, what they've been doing for a really long time now. And people are also interested in seeing how, the 0.0001% lives. Like, sure. But I also still maintain, and I've said this before, my conspiracy theory, that they pay for the Hulu show. Hulu does not pay them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different I think it is subsidized by like brand endorsements about showing the Cybertruck on there, about like, Survivor, the first season, they did that when they sold it to CBS, was that they said, we're already going to sell product placement. So CBS, your stake in this isn't going to be as high. It's not much risk for you because we're already going to pre-sell like Jeep ads, and like there's going to be a Jeep like they had all of this pre-sale, so the risk for CBS was very little. And I think that's similar to Hulu, but they never really released streaming numbers. And I don't sometimes believe what we see in terms of the top 10 that you see on Netflix or Hulu. I feel like those numbers are fudged sometimes, or the rating system is fudged. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely, even with like Netflix, it's like top 10 most popular shows in the US. It's like they're manually doing that. They're overriding the system.
I always thought that until I started like talking to you, because you'd have this like Liam Neeson movie up there that I was like, what the fuck? Who's fucking watching this? And then I realized it's you. So I don't know. Maybe that is actually true. Which, by the way, I do want to recommend the Gabby Petito docuseries on Netflix.
I watched. It's so
isn't it well done though? But isn't it well done? It's respectful.
Very well done. They have Gabby's parents in it, and it's just like, it's so infuriating because they had that run-in with the police, and she had bruises on her. She looked like she had been beat up. She was crying.
There was a witness watching him slap her, and that's how the police got called in the first place.
Exactly. And the police still treated her like the crazy one and like the aggressor. And then, obviously
they gave him a hotel room. They put him in a hotel room for domestic abuse survivors.
They put him in the hotel room, and she was just like in the van.
And that mom, that Brian Landry's mom,
a terrifying family.
I get the love for a son, but what, she has this letter, you guys, in it that was found. It literally says on the letter, burn after reading. So this is how much of a fuck up this Brian Landry is. He kills her, gets this letter from the mom. The mom says, burn after reading. The guy doesn't burn it. He's a fucking idiot. Doesn't burn it. But it literally says, listen, you need me to bury somebody for you? I'll come with a shovel and a garbage bag. It is so insane.
Boy moms, am I right?
Who's that Avery? Who's that one we were talking about last week? Avery Woods. Avery Woods, yeah, because she said she loved her boy. Is like, there's just something about my son. Anyways, the Gabby Petito thing I thought was really well done, and also, I think that's something that every person should watch, because I think that kind of domestic abuse
Yeah.
happens so much that people should be aware and tell everybody that they can, because obviously this girl also was in love with this guy, or thought she was, and thought, like, oh, he needs me, all of this stuff. And it's just horrifying.
Yeah. It's very sad.
Okay, well, then let's get something that's not sad. I've signed Sophie up for season 49 of Survivor. I've yet to hear back yet, but Survivor is premiering in this next couple of weeks, but we're already looking ahead to Survivor 50, and I wanted to hit Sophie with this because I know you're a Survivor fan like I am. Survivor 50 is going to be all sorts of different. It's going to start filming in a few months. And the people like us at home will be able to vote on things. So we're going to vote on certain aspects of this game, I guess, for the very first time.
Mhm.
The first round of voting will commence during the Survivor 48 premiere, which is February 26th. So that's this week, that you can vote on a special website. But some of the decisions fans will be in charge of include idols or no idols, final four fire making, keep it or lose it, and live finale and reunion show in LA, or keep the winner reveal and after show in the jungles of Fiji. I want the after
Live. I want live finale. Live
Yep.
finale. No more final four fire making. 2 tribes instead of the 4, which I know is like a recent thing that they've done in the past, I think since maybe like 2020 when they did like the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the final 4 fire making, I think, is the number one thing that people like want to get rid of.
Oh, and I want them to add back in the 9 days that they took away.
Yes. You know what? Thank you, Jeffrey, for listening to us, the people.
Yeah. Well, I will say the last time somebody listened to me is Love is Blind, because I started watching it, and the
my God.
6 or 5 or 6 episodes are in the pods, and we got a new batch of episodes on Friday. Have you caught up?
Yes, I'm
What
all
do you
caught
think?
up.
Walk me through, since I'm not caught up.
Dave is the fucking worst. So there's actually
They all look the same, like you pointed out.
They all look the same. There actually isn't a whole lot of drama. Like, there's no big storyline, no big drama, except for this guy Dave and his fiance Lauren. And because Minneapolis is like, it's a big city, but it's a small town, you guys. He finds out that she had like hooked up with someone, like a mutual friend he has mutual friends with, like right before she left for the show. And she was like, we just like hooked up. Like, I wasn't dating him. It was like a friends with benefits situation. He was like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe you. That's not what I've heard. Like, basically gaslighting her. It seems like he wants like an excuse to like not be with her. And he is just so fucking infuriating. And he also, I know we were talking about boy moms. He is like what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Someone who wants to fuck his sister. His own sister.
What's the word for that, you guys?
You guys, what's the word for a guy that wants to fuck his own sister?
Oh wait, now I'm like, I know, like it's on the tip of my tongue. It's what's
But anyway, if you've watched it, you will know what I'm talking about. It's very concerning. Like, he's the worst. Overall, the season is just like kind of boring. Like,
incest.
Well,
is that
incest, yeah, but like, I don't know.
Now, oh fuck! Now that's in my Google search history. Great, great.
But yeah, it's like there's this couple of Virginia and Devin, and their voices are like Xanax to me, where every time they're on, I like actually doze off because they're just like normal and they're nice and like, it's just kind of a boring season. But like, I'm still gonna like, rail it like Zoloft in the bathroom.
See, I started watching the first episode and I was like, okay, that, it's like really well produced and all of that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes like I'm not watching this season of The Bachelor. Like I tapped out of that a couple of seasons ago. And sometimes you got to pick your battles because there's so much on right now. Did you watch The White Lotus?
Duh. And it's Sunday night. It's 8:15 p.m. on Sunday night right now, meaning in 45 minutes, I will be able to watch the new episode. And I'm so excited. Except they got rid of the music.
Okay, but Sophie, so I was talking to Sammy Sage about this this week, and she was talking, but My thing is, this is just my opinion. They're kind of like, and Mike White's kind of like, you know, that song that you're all making TikToks of? Fuck it. We're getting rid of it. We want you to pay attention to the story. This is a darker story than you saw the previous 2 seasons. We don't need it. But also, I think they're going to bring it back at some point. That's my
I
own
can see
thought.
that. I also think there's like a hint of it in the new theme song.
There is. Yeah, you can
there's
hear.
like a little hint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the premiere. I'm like
Me
very
too.
like the way that like it only took, I don't know, it's like a 60-minute show, I guess. You already feel like you like know kind of like these characters already in 60 minutes. And like that's good writing.
And the reveal of what's his name, the bald dude from the first 2 seasons.
Oh my
Greg
God.
in the very end, I was like, oh my God.
I was gagged.
Which means, could we potentially get a ghost Jennifer Coolidge? Could we like a haunting ghost or some sort of dream sequence where Jennifer Coolidge comes back? Parker Posey seems like she's doing a Sutton Strack imitation.
Oh my God, she is. That's who it sounds like.
Doesn't it? Like it seems like she's doing Sutton Strack.
Obsessed with the fact that their names, the kids' names are Saxon, Piper, and Lachlan. They're the most like Southern, like SEC school names. Like it's so funny.
Oh my God. Dude, Patrick Schwarzenegger, like I think they're all like good, but they're setting up this kind of incest. I don't know.
Yeah.
They are setting up like an incest storyline.
Speaking of people that want to fuck their sisters.
Yeah, there's like an incest storyline, you guys. And Rebecca was telling me about this blind item she read the other day. And this is why I hate blind items, because I don't think there's any, like saying that Patrick Schwarzenegger hooked up with Mike White, the creator of this, to actually get the job on the White Lotus. And I was like, how dare you? No, because Mike White, he seems like a brilliant man that doesn't get involved in this kind of shenanigans. And this is why I hate fucking blind items, because then I've been thinking about it all week. And it's still, and also, you think Patrick Schwarzenegger, the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you don't think Arnold Schwarzenegger would be like, how dare you? I'm going to kill you, Mike White.
Yeah, I don't think I believe that. I don't see Mike White as being like a Harvey Weinstein-esque character.
No, he's only been said the most amazing things about.
Exactly. And that viral video of Patrick Schwarzenegger where he's like finding out that he got the role.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's actually sweet.
But Sophie, this is because you probably read more of this stuff than I do. Like, and this is it's getting me angrier and angrier as I get older. Like, how should we treat blind items? Because I feel like most of them do turn out to be false. There's sometimes a little sprinkle of information, but I feel like where the fuck? Like, it's, you know, these are actual like things that I want to enjoy the shows and the stories. And then I have to like think about some rumor about how somebody got cast on a show. And yes, Hollywood is a dirty business. I'm not saying that. Like, yes, the Lively Baldoni thing still raging on, and there's real emails and real text, but everything can't be this big a conspiracy. I'm sorry.
I think it's just like, you have to like, you'll believe what you want to believe and you won't believe what you don't want to believe. I don't know. It's like, there are a lot of blind items that ultimately end up like being true. Like speaking of Harvey Weinstein, that was like a blind item for so long.
See, that was even beyond a blind item, because we had like little whisperings from actual like inside sources, and people really did just kind of ignore that. The same thing with Diddy. I mean, there were so many cases with Diddy, which, by the way, one of Diddy's lawyers quit this or asked to be removed from his legal team because you have to do that through a judge. So he said, I cannot do this any longer. He did not give a reason why he has to give that to the judge. So he is expected to be released. Obviously, he has a lot of lawyers, but isn't that like, I mean, if you look at Diddy's, like the amount of cases he settled or he actually won, it would blow you away. Like this dude had the same pattern through the last 3 decades.
Like, how bad does it have to be for a lawyer? I saw a tweet that was like, do you guys realize that like lawyers will literally represent the devil?
Yeah. Can you imagine a lawyer not want? I would almost feel that would probably be the wake up call Diddy needs of like, fuck, a lawyer wants to quit.
Yeah, like the shit's really, really, really bad if that's the case. Like even darker than we even know at this point, which it's really dark.
Do you think I think me and you, like, we're here, like, oh, I can't wait to watch White Lotus. I can't wait to watch these reality shows. But I sometimes wonder if, like, all of this is going to be eaten alive by celebrity blind culture and just by, like, it's different than back in the day when you would just flip through your Us Weekly or you go on Perez Hilton. It's such a fever pitch because they've gotten a couple of them right. Like there are really bad people out there, but then it kind of takes you out. Like at SNL 50 last week when they did that little thing with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, it took me out of that show. Like I was like, oh, weird. Like, I didn't care. Like I wasn't one of the ones of like, how dare they be there? They both hosted. I get it. But it did take me out of that moment of this celebration to remind me that like, oh God, this thing is going to be going for the next year with them.
I know. I'm not one of those people that's like you said, like, how dare they? I'm kind of just like, what were they thinking? Why did they think that was a good idea?
But see, that is celebrity culture of like, just got to pile through. Like, I've worked this hard to get there.
And like pretend everything's normal and we're still part of like the Hollywood elite. And like,
yeah, did you see that video of Amy Schumer hugging Blake Lively at the after party? And I was just like, damn, like it is. Everybody there knows, but at the same time, like it is interesting to hear other people's reactions of like, look at Kevin Costner's reaction. He's obviously very angry. It's like Kevin Costner's probably fucking bored out of his mind going like, what? Like he's,
Kevin Costner has no idea.
Well, I mean, he's probably aware, but it's like, look at him. He knows everything. It's like, no, he doesn't. He's literally like in like hour 3 of a 4-hour broadcast, like probably having a piss. And those are the things that like we're making a meal out of everything. And I think that sometimes distract of the actual thing. So I don't know.
Right.
Well, okay, let's get to the traders. What do we think?
Oh my God.
Where are you at? Give it to me.
I listened to like part 1 of your Carolyn, almost the entire thing of part 1 of your Carolyn interview, which was great.
Which was only supposed to be 20 minutes, by the way. I was like, Bergie surprised me and said, we got her for 20 minutes. So I was ready to end at 20. She kept going.
I love that about her. Yeah, I take back everything I said about Danielle last week where I said, she's doing a pretty good job. People need to go easy on her. She is just so lucky that she has a group of some of the dumbest faithfuls since Australia season 2. Okay.
Okay, this is what's so great then. You probably noticed this as well, is that like everybody twisting themselves into a pretzel to make it that like Danielle's brilliant. Playing a brilliant game. And I'm going to give Danielle her flowers. It is interesting because I never watched Big Brother. So a lot of people in like the YouTube comments, I guess, which I don't usually read, but I read it last night because I was home and people were like defending her hardcore. And I want to hear people's reactions and I want to like go, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I still just don't think she's playing a great game just because traitor against traitor isn't getting faithfuls out. And then people were also trying to tell me that Dolores is like, the reason she's voting for Tom, she's like trying to keep low, trying to like not get killed. Dolores just doesn't know what's going on. I love her, but she doesn't know what's going on.
She's such a useless faithful. It's just like, I think that that's kind of just like, the fatal flaw of the game is that the smart people and the strategic people and the big personalities are always the ones that are going to be murdered or like banished first. And so it leaves us with like Dolores and Sandoval. And like Sandoval is amazing TV on the traders, obviously, but like they're not, the sharpest faithfuls. And I think that Danielle's gotten really lucky because she is an extremely obvious traitor as far as I can see it. The fucking convulsing on the floor saying, I told you! You guys, that was so funny. The way that she fell like, it was so funny.
Gabby's like, you did so good. You did so good.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I mean, listen, that's what I mean. These moments, like, I keep telling myself, like, it's fun to dislike people. Like, and I don't like I always point out, I don't know Danielle. She's probably the best person in real life.
It's making good TV. It's making good TV.
It's making TV that gets me angry. Now, Carolyn, though, really fun to talk to her and great, but you also realize that she is who she is, like on camera and off camera. And I will say, even though she said, listen, there was more to it than we saw, I was bummed that she didn't come in with more facts because I feel like she could have gotten Danielle out because they still would have gotten a traitor. They still would have done it. They still would have gotten it if they picked Danielle.
There was so much against Danielle and she just like came in just not prepared to the round table. And that was unfortunate. She ended up kind of like hanging herself at the round table and Danielle just let her do it. So yeah, that was obviously disappointing. I was sad about that. But also, did you see that Danielle kind of like spoiled it on Twitter?
Yeah, will you explain this? Because I did see this. Like she kind of spoiled it earlier in the week.
She basically tweeted, she was like, I'm sorry to my fans. This week's episode is a doozy. And people kind of put 2 and 2 together based on that, and then also Alan did an interview where he said there was a really dramatic Danielle roundtable where someone gets banished and she falls, and it's really dramatic, and she's wearing a hat, and then people put 2 and 2 together. They're like, "Okay, we haven't seen this hat roundtable yet, and we know that Danielle doesn't get banished. If she's warning us, the viewer, it's probably because our fan favorite, Carolyn, is getting banished. So she spoiled it. Like, people put the pieces together, and
I was so sad though, Sophie. I was so sad. Like
I know.
I like rooting for somebody, and Carolyn was my person. And
Yeah, it was
like it's still a fantastic. Like I can't wait. Like I love the Traitors so deeply. In fact, we got to figure a way that we can all play the Traitors or Mafia or something. Like, wouldn't that be like? Do you do that? Do you and Henry like host parties and do shit like that?
Yeah, we do game night. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I fly? Oh, I was like, can I fly out?
That actually would be fun. But yeah,
Henry's like, screw that shit.
That would be fun. I'm down.
Dude, did you hear me have to explain Tom Sandoval to Carolyn? She was like, he's a great guy. And I'm like, of course you would think that. You have not seen Vanderpump Rules. And also then I was getting heat for people like, you didn't say about him recording Rachel illegally. I'm like, I can't fucking say that on a pod. Like, what do you guys think this is? Like, I mean, like, honestly, like, I can't go like, oh, let me stop this and go, there is this lawsuit pending. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah,
and people are like, I don't know, but it was very interesting to hear from her perspective of like, he just seems like a good crazy guy.
I mean, if you just watch the trailers without knowing like Sandoval from Vanderpump, like of course you'd be like, what a goofy like goofball. He's just a goofball.
Wanting to play his own band's music in the car rides to the challenge was
Let's
awesome.
touch in public. I low-key love that song.
I low-key do too, which is very sad because that's a different band than the Most Extras, and the other guy in that band was full on QAnon and did something bad to himself. Yeah. Let's
touch
Monday.
In public.
Remember that was the season finale of one of the seasons, the filming of that music video.
Oh my God, yes.
Good time.
What was that? Do you remember what that band was called? Now it's bothering me.
It was called Touch in Public.
This is going to bother me.
Touch in Public. Okay. Oh, great. Now Touch in Public is in my Google search history.
Oh my God. Touch in Public.
Wait. Okay. Do you have any idea? Don't look it up. Don't stop looking. Did you just see it?
I just saw it.
Charles McMansion. So it was Charles Manson, but Charles McMansion because it was like, we're ballers, dude.
Oh my God, I can't. I
would have gone to see them live. I would have.
Yeah. I mean, I would literally go to Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras in North Dakota, like tomorrow, whatever that is.
Well, no, I'm not. I would have done Charles McMansion. I'm done with the Most Extras.
But yeah, it was Carolyn's game to lose, and so
she just missed it at that final. She just didn't come. She didn't come correct, and I think. Obviously, she does play that loose game and her emotions. It was kind of interesting. She's a really smart person, but I think she also wanted to have fun and she emotionally got wrapped up. And Danielle, what do you predict is going to happen from this point? Because obviously she's going to try to recruit Brittany.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and this is different than what I think will happen. I don't actually think that Brittany will stab Danielle in the back because they already have that fraught relationship from Big Brother, like
Big Brother Reindeer Games, yeah.
Whatever it was. But I hope she does. And I think either Brittany will end up winning it all, or I hope that Gabby and Dylan win it.
See, Ivar, there's no way Ivar's going to win it. Like, he's like a furniture at this point.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten like a winner's at it. Like, Danielle hasn't either. I would be very surprised if Danielle actually ended up winning after like the edit that she's gotten.
Well, who knows though? Maybe she's been there this long. I mean, but you have to look at like the way they're editing people. So they edited Gabby to always have like the funniest lines, like they always come back, girls. They always come back. Like that was so funny. I
love her.
Dylan has been the most faithful of faithfuls and everybody is kind of rooting for those two. But then you have Brittany who seems really good at gameplay and her story has been increasing because she was kind of quiet those first couple of episodes. So that's, a possibility. And then who else do we have? We have Sandoval and Dolores.
If I actually wouldn't be that mad if Sandoval won it. Like, I want him to pay
What
his
if
mom back.
if he acts, would see that would actually, if he's like, I'm going to pay you back, mom. Like if we actually saw that happen.
Mommy, like JT on Southern Charm.
Yeah, Alan's like, we are going to directly deposit. That would be a great finale where they direct deposit that money into Tom's mom's account.
Oh, wait, I'm obsessed with how on Traders Australia, it's like silver bars. Like, why is it silver and not like gold?
Differentiating, different. Well, and they're filming the reunion this week. So that should be very interesting. So, and I will say to Carolyn's, not that she needs defending, she didn't really want to talk shit about Danielle. Like she was kind of like, yeah, I mean, like she was frustrated with certain aspects of the game, but she was like, yeah, I don't like, I'm not looking to get like angry at people or have people mad at me, you know?
And I also felt like she owned her shit. Like, I feel like she owned it, besides the fact that she was like, I thought it was actually a smart move to put myself on the chessboard, which I would disagree with. I don't think it was a smart move. But for the most part, I think that she realizes like where she went wrong.
Yeah. A couple quick hits. This is a sad week for Jax Taylor. It is announced that Hooters is closing down, the restaurant where you're able to see Hooters, girls in tight tops. This is the place where he met his ex-wife.
Betrothed.
His ex-betrothed. Yeah, his ex-betrothed, Brittany. So Hooters is closing down. And if you remember, Hooters gifted Jax once with like a platinum card. I remember this because I'm a sick person. And I think he gets like a discount every time he goes into Hooters. But this just like, whatever you think of Jack, just send positive vibes his way. Like that's hard, right?
It's a tough time for him.
How's he going to teach his son to look at Hooters?
Wait, also, who was it Lala that says that he never like spends time with Cruz? And then he came on his podcast and was like, I actually do spend time with Cruz. Okay. I'm with you like 3 days a week.
I actually do spend time with Cruz. Oh, Cruz. No, listen, I mean, The Valley, by the way, comes up in March. We don't have the exact premiere date yet, but I'm excited to see what The Valley is going to bring. When are we getting that
trailer? I want a trailer.
To be honest, I think it's going to be this week.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
You're going to see. Okay. What's your prediction for The Valley trailer?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but what if we see Brittany kissing another dude in the trailer?
What if it's
Jax reacting to it because...
What if it's Adam? Remember Adam?
Oh, the penguin guy? The Scheana's guy? That also Brittany was into? Oh, but like, what if we see like that and like we see Jax like, I'm going crazy? Because he eventually does check into a facility, right?
I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so I think something like that's going to happen. We'll see like how much Scheana and Lala are in the trailer. We have the fight between Janet and Doute. Doute gets engaged and maybe pregnant this season, all in one. Lala has her baby, but I know cameras weren't there, even though they asked to be there. She told me. And what other story we got?
Jesse Lally.
Oh, Jesse and Lala, they're done. So they both have new partners. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting because I don't think Jesse and Michelle Lally get along, even though they're donezo. Because I bumped into Michelle Lally at that Kathy Hilton party, and they were like on opposite sides of the party.
They didn't get along when they were married.
Yeah, I know. So that's probably just what they're used to. But that's going to be really exciting to see that Valley.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch like Kristen's journey. I feel like she deserves this.
I know you're probably not watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I did think this was very funny. There was an episode with a 4th of July party this week, and Brandy Glanville, man, she'll hit you with things. You know, she's out there, she has a parasite in her face, times are tough, and she is trying to still sue Bravo and bad words about Andy Cohen. But this week she tweeted out, I'm trying to find the tweet, but she suggested that Doute was on blow that entire episode. She goes, this is what her tweet was. I feel like Doute might have been doing a little bit of cocaine in the bathroom all night long, bitch. And then put 2 crying, laughing emojis. And then she says, allegedly, as an audience member, the jaw doesn't lie. So she was,
Brandy.
And by the way, that episode was all shot during the day. There's nothing sadder than daytime coke use. There, no offense, and by the way, no offense to anybody doing coke right now during the day. That I hope you will forgive me if that's you.
The person like cutting their lines right now just looks up. They're like, "What?"
Yeah. By the way, 1 star. I'm changing my review.
Oh God, do I need? Okay, so I've heard such mixed things. I tuned out of Beverly Hills this season because I just thought it was really boring. I've heard mixed things because some people are saying they're loving it this season. Some people are saying
Yeah.
it's really boring.
I think just after the high of Salt Lake, it was very hard to then have
Yeah,
that be like and that it was very hard to then get really into that because it's just so disjointed. The action is so sparse and the Salt Lake ladies are always on top of each other and they're ready to fight and then they'll like make up 20 minutes later and it's so bizarre. But like the Beverly Hills, it's like you'll see scenes like this week. It's like Garcelle and Erica, they're just like kicking back while like Dorit and Kyle are kind of doing some heavy lifting and they'll throw in a comment or two. But I'm like, you're just cashing a check. And no offense,
right.
but I want to see action where everybody's involved and it feels a little, I don't know, blasé at times, even though I like certain things. Like I love Dorit this season, but we're hitting a lot of the same beats that we've already hit. And I know I sound like a snub when I say that, but next week I hear is a good episode because Mauricio is like photographed with some girl in Mykonos. But I feel like also they've been
Ooh.
separated for so long that I don't know how that's like a big surprise to Kyle because he keeps having these incidents being spotted with other women.
Okay, so it sounds like I'm not missing that much.
No, I think you're good. I think you're good. Also, we were both. I think you were a fan as well of the show Jury Duty, which was at
Yes,
Amazon. It got picked up for a second season, and this is the great news, folks. It's already been shot.
it's already been
Jury's
shot. They waited to announce it so that like whoever's their name, what was his name, Roger?
What poor guy.
I
We've
know.
joked about this guy before because I said, what if they gave him like a deal to like produce TV? And I was like, what if they did give him that deal and the second season is just acting like he has like a movie
He
that he's
has like a
producing and that it's not happening at all?
Oh my God, stop. That's so funny. So apparently the second season, which they already filmed, it's like a corporate retreat, which I think is so brilliant because like imagine you're like that person that they're like, "Hey, we got to send you to represent the company at like this retreat." And Henry's at like a work retreat in Vegas right now, but it's like wherever it is. Like that is so brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
they filmed in Agora Hills outside of Los Angeles, and the first season was Ronald Gladden was his name, and
Ronald, yeah.
if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really kind of brilliant television. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Also, still prayers up for Teddy Mellencamp. We teased her a lot on this show over the years, but obviously dealing with some really insane stuff, and I think everybody can agree. It's like, yeah, we joke about people, but like,
Yeah.
I'm watching some of these videos and watching some of the stuff, and it reminds me so much of what my mom went through and all. I mean, like, God, I just want her to get better so we can go back to teasing each other
Yes.
like that. I just want her to be
Absolutely.
okay.
Is there any update on Teddy?
Um, well, like she posted this one Instagram thing and then deleted it. Somebody sent me, and the verbiage they were using seemed really intense. And there was some medicine that my mom was on that was like it's like a trial medicine, but it's really intense. Like this thing is very. It doesn't
Yeah.
have a high rate of survival, but
God.
I did hear that like then Terry and Heather Dubrow were like on TMZ outside of Craig's restaurant, and Heather said that they had gotten good news that day, but it wasn't their business to say. So hopefully there's like great news. She's got such a great team of people around her. And hopefully, when you know people like that, they're bound to know like a really good doctor, hopefully. I don't know.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, prayers up for Teddy.
Two last things. Slade Smiley allegedly threw a drink on Tamra on the first week of filming on Real Housewives of Orange County. So it looks like Gretchen and Slade are already pulling their weight as friends of this season. But I get, but then didn't you think about it this way? Like obviously Tamra so close to Teddy. I'm sure like all joking aside that Tamra's going through it with this, because so much is tied in with Teddy and that really is one of her best friends.
Absolutely.
Imagine them showing up to film and you got Slade Smiley back in action and throws a drink on you. Like that's insane.
That's like that would be like, something that tips you over the edge. But I prayed for times like these. Slade Smiley
Yeah, no,
control
not
on
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
Like, please bring it on.
We did it. And then finally, I wanted to end today. What are your thoughts on Severance? Any theories that you have after this week?
I still, I feel like with Severance, I really need to like be in like a thinking mood to watch it because it really makes you think. And then there are moments where you're just like, I just want to turn my brain off and watch Love is Blind. So that's what I did instead of watching Severance. But what I'm going to do after this is take a gummy, watch White Lotus, and then watch Severance. And you guys, I have the apartment to myself because, like I said, Henry's on a work trip. It's just me and Baxter. Like,
So wait, when the husband is away, what do you? So you get to watch whatever you want.
yeah.
Are there other things like do you leave the
Like,
toilet seat
stay up-
open?
yeah.
Like what do you do? What do you?
Yeah, I leave the toilet seat up. I get to stay up late. I'm like a night owl, and I feel like with Henry, and I feel like
Oh,
you
this
can relate
guy's
to
trying to
this.
get you to bed at like 11 p.m. You're
Yeah,
not
like, oh my God, it's only 11:30.
oh my God.
So yeah, I'm gonna stay up late. I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna take my gummy, and life is good. I'm gonna eat my snacks. No one bitching in my ear that I'm eating leftover.
Hey, Cubby, you don't need that.
I'm eating leftover bread pudding at midnight. No one in my ear yapping.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know Henry probably doesn't listen to this, but Henry, I want you back. I want you back as soon as possible. Don't eat so that's anger talking what you're hearing right now. Obviously Snarkbait is a show that we want to promote. She obviously has the episode that you can listen to right now, which is a surprise who it's about. And then Tuesday we got Dark Energy Tuesday. Is there you're not allowed to say who Dark Energy Tuesday is.
Oh, well, no, wait.
For this week, right?
The episode that's out right now that came out last Thursday is on Danielle Bernstein.
Oh,
We Wore What?
Man, you actually are the first person that taught me about Danielle Bernstein like years and years ago.
Yeah, so if you're interested in the We Wore What, like influencer world, I think you'll really like this episode. There's like a lot of lore when it comes to her. Actually, the episode that we're doing this Thursday. So again, tomorrow's Dark Energy Tuesday, but we have another deep dive. And actually, I'm not going to spoil who, but they're in the podcast world. So yeah, subscribe.
You already did Alex Cooper. Oh, Joe Rogan.
No. You're just gonna have to find out. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Sorry. Wait, one more thing. Then okay. So Dave Portnoy. Did you see that Dave Portnoy and Kanye got into it on Twitter?
No.
And by the way, like, listen, this is like, but like Kanye.
Oh my God, the worst people you know. Like,
yeah. So Dave Portnoy was like, "Fuck you, Kanye," because allegedly, Kanye sold his Twitter account this week for $17 million, and they're about to drop a fake meme coin on there with Kanye's name. And Dave Portnoy called this out. And then Kanye posted a video, by the way, in a full swastika t-shirt saying, I don't even know who this Dave Portnoy is. I don't know, but you mess with my money, so I don't like you. All the while wearing a fucking swastika shirt, this piece of shit. And it's like, now I have to defend. Not even to defend. Now I have to support Dave Portnoy?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to be on Dave Portnoy's side. Oh, God.
Isn't that insane?
Yes.
Anyways. Okay, well, go enjoy your nights of amazing TV viewing without your husband. Go rate Snarkbait 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you want to, do the same for this show. And that's it, folks. I hope you have... Oh, I didn't tell you. I'm going to the Oscars next weekend.
What?
I'm
what
do
you mean?
I'm going to be on the red carpet. I'm doing the press room. I'm doing the whole thing.
Oh my God! With who?
Just me. Well, with Betches. With Betches, they asked me to do.
Oh my God, Ryan! That's amazing.
What if Timothy brings Kylie, and that's like my first interview? It's like, hey, what are we wearing tonight? Like,
hey, Timothy.
Or would I be like, hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing, bro? It's Bobby D.
You dap him up. And you're like, hey.
Yeah, what if I try? Yeah, I want to do a cool moment. We start like, can I rap like Kendrick with them or something like that?
Oh my God,
like,
stop.
I got to think of something cool to do. Yeah, imagine how much I'm going to sweat. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane
I gotta go get like a tuxedo this week. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so
excited for you. Also, like, no one deserves it more, you guys. I was actually just texting Christy about this because we were talking about like prolific podcasters, the ones that were like, when do you sleep? Obviously, Ryan, like we were talking about Ben and Ronnie from Watch What Crappens. And then obviously Ryan, like when does Ryan ever sleep? Like
it's very, very rare. And that's why like Ben and Ronnie, obviously they're geniuses and I love them so much and they've been so supportive, but it's like they have each other every day, you know, like left to my own devices without Sophie. we'd be sitting here for 3 hours. Like, I'll just fucking keep going because I have a OCD. I have a weird screw loose in my brain.
Yep.
So like, it is really, I'm going to take that as a compliment, prolific. So my therapist says
it is.
To take
like,
that as a compliment.
All of the good things coming to Ryan, like, he deserves them so hard. He works harder than anyone I know.
What if I get hit on the red carpet by, like, who else is nominated? Do I have beef with anybody at the Oscars?
Wait, never forget when you said that shit about Monica Barbaro. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think
so. I was like, did I? No, I think she gave a lovely performance.
No. They're gonna love you.
I fight with the cast with Amelia Perez. Okay. Anyways, we'll keep you up to date on all things Oscars, and go listen to Snarkbait, folks. Have a great Monday. Hang in there, you guys. I know things are weird. Hang in.
Bye.